Analysts tracking political deepfakes estimate a whopping 68% chance of fabricated AI video targeting a specific candidate services within 96 hours of election day this November. The exact window where there's no time left to debunk it before people vote. Now, Senate Republicans released an AI-generated video making Democratic candidate James Tallarico appear to say things that he never said, reading out his own tweets in a voice and a likeness that wasn't even real. This already happened in March. It's August. Imagine what's coming by November. We live in a world where the most powerful technology ever built is being handed to you without instructions, without warnings, and without anyone asking whether it serves you or uses you. That question has a name: the virtuous machine. I'm Michael Ruthier, and this is Tech for Grownups, the show that believes technology should answer to human beings, not the other way around. This is the show the tech industry doesn't want you to hear. No corporate talking points, no sponsored opinions. Just honest conversation. Let's go. Now, I'm going to be clear and upfront with you about this before we get into this episode. This is not a political discussion on which party is better. I'm not telling you who to vote for. This is not about which party is worse, because both sides are doing exactly what we're about to talk about today. And that's the problem. Now, there was a Kentucky race where AI-generated content was used to fabricate a scenario involving a candidate and other lawmakers. A separate AI-manipulated clip showing a candidate fleeing a rally, and both of these clips were circulated without a clear disclosure. I don't care who you vote for. I really don't. I care whether what you're watching is real or not. And that is the big problem with all of this. The AI industry itself, let's talk about the money behind this machine. The AI industry itself, the money is flooding this election cycle at a scale that most voters don't even realize. Yes, you listening to this podcast, most of you, I would say 99% of you, will not know what I'm about to tell you. AI companies and allied groups spent at least, listen to this, $83 million on federal elections, with competing super PACs tied to Anthropic and OpenAI already pumping over $38 million into congressional primaries. I'll let you sit with that for a moment. Listen to those numbers. And in some races, the AI industry-backed political groups have spent more money than the actual candidates they're supporting. Think about that. Now, I have a question for you. And I really want you to think about this. When tech companies are outspending candidates in their own races, whose interest is that election actually serving? So let's talk about how widespread this already is now, because it really is. At least 15 documented AI-generated political ads ran between November and March alone. And that number is almost certainly to be higher now. There's what you want to call a deceptive fluency problem. AI-generated content doesn't need to be perfect. It really does not. It just needs to be believable enough in 6 seconds that someone scrolls past it. So when you are on your social media account, whatever it may be, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you see something that involves a candidate that you are looking to vote for, or maybe you don't like and you hope they lose. It just takes that 6 seconds of something you watch to have that influence on your perception of that person. AI is also fueling a new wave of election conspiracy content. It's giving fraud claims fabricated evidence that look convincingly real. And this is the part that is very disturbing and concerning, to say the least. Now, this is the one part that I when I was researching this and doing my due diligence, because I always come to you with information. I want to be educated on this as well. I'm not a know-it-all. And people who say they know a lot, you need to question that, because I didn't know this, and this blew my mind. Let's talk about the laws in regards to this discussion today. On the federal level, sit down for this one. On the federal level, there is currently no federal law regulating AI and political advertising. Look at that. There is no federal law regulating AI and political advertising as of this episode. We're only months away from the midterms. But see, the FEC voted in September 2024 not to open formal rulemaking on AI and campaign ads. That effectively punted the issue. I find that very interesting. Let's not open formal rulemaking on AI and campaign ads. But there was a bill, the AI Transparency in Elections Act of 2026. And that is, if you would like to read it or research it, HR 9922. It would clearly require disclaimers on AI-generated political content. But as of this recording you're listening to right now, it remains pending and it is not law. Now, let's go to the state level today. Come on, let's go to the state level. We talked about the feds, and that was shocking. But 31 states have passed laws regulating AI deepfakes in elections as of mid-2026, making state law the only real enforcement mechanism right now. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. California's AB 2655, it requires disclosure within 120 days of an election. We also have Michigan's HB 5144, which requires disclosure at all times, not just near the elections. Now, Colorado and Utah, they go further. They require metadata disclosures showing the date of creation and who made the content. Look at that. 2 states requiring what should be required, and the feds can't do that. This means the rules protecting you depend entirely on which state you live in, and several states still have 0 requirements at all. And I'm not going to get into all of them today. There's another angle to this that is deeply disturbing, and it is the foreign interference angle. Now, this is bigger than the domestic campaigns, the Senate, and the state elections, because U.S. intelligence officials have directly confirmed that Russia, Iran, and China are actively using AI in election interference efforts. This is as we speak. And Russia leads in AI generation disinformation. They lead it in volume of those 3. They're producing fabricated text, the images, the audio, and video content designed to erode trust and deepen political division. It's not necessarily to favor one party, but to make Americans distrust each other and the process itself. And I'd hate to say it, it's working. I really hate to say, but it's working. China has reportedly used AI to generate fake news anchors and pro-China propaganda content aimed at American audiences. Now, a foreign actor doesn't need you to vote a specific way. because I've heard that before. Oh, they're trying to sway the vote. They don't need you to vote a specific way. They need you to stop trusting elections altogether, because a divided, distrustful electorate is a weaker country. They're trying to divide and conquer. You've heard that term before. Now, CISA's own 2026 assessment confirms this is an active, ongoing threat. This is not hypothetical. Not at all. Not at all. This is not hypothetical at all. Now I have a question for you because, well, actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I have a couple of questions for you because I like to get your opinion and also make you think. If you can't fully trust what you see or hear from any candidate or any party, what does that do to your ability to make an informed decision, which is the most single basic function of a democracy? Now, the second question for you, does it matter to you whether the lie that convinces you comes from a rival political party or a foreign intelligence service, if the outcome, a manipulated vote, is exactly the same? I want you to think about those two. And if you'd like, you could put it in the comment section because I do read all the comments. But I'm not going to leave you today with fear. I'm not here to tell you the sky's falling and, oh my God, we're in trouble. Here's what you can actually do. I want to empower you because I feel an empowered voter is an effective voter. Now, let's talk about learning to spot the tells. I want you to look at these videos, and if you see things like unnatural blinking, inconsistent lighting, strange hand movements, and mismatch audio timing, these are common giveaways in AI video today. I don't care what these people use. AI cannot perfect these as of yet. I want you to do something just very basic. And I'm sorry, this is not to question your intelligence, but some people, they just take it and run. Verify before sharing this. Check if a clip appears on the candidate's own official channels or reputable news outlets before believing it or forwarding it. That is something that will save you so much grief because let's be realistic. If you sent it to a friend and they find out that it was fake, they're going to be pissed at you. That's the reality of it. They're going to blame you. So avoid all that. Check it out for yourself. Do a little homework. Be your own sleuth. And that might save you a lot of grief. Now, also know your state's laws because we went over a few states, Colorado, California, and Michigan. But check whether your state requires AI disclosure on political ads and report ads that don't comply. This is the one thing that I don't understand why people won't go the extra step or the extra mile to report these things. This is how we are able to nip this in the bud, per se, or stop this. Because once these entities get involved, the state gets involved, they investigate. Sometimes they have the ability to pull these things off of these social media platforms, and you may save somebody some grief. This is my last tip for you. Go to trusted sources for actual voting information. Your state's official Secretary of State website, not social media, for anything related to polling locations, deadlines, or ballot measures. They're going to have the real information. This is where these bad actors and that's what they are, pieces of garbage. They want to go ahead and destroy what the U.S. has. And this is what they're trying to do. So they're going to put out misinformation when it comes to polling deadlines and the ballot measures. I'm calling it what it is. And it's really sad that we have to come to this, especially with technology. As I've said in other episodes, and I say this quite often, I believe in precision over panic. Again, I don't think we need to panic about anything at the moment because we are capable human beings, capable individuals with a high intelligence level that can figure out this BS. And this doesn't mean nothing you see is trustworthy. It means that everything now requires a moment of verification before you can believe it. And that's fine because I have faith in every single one of you listening to this. You have the ability to check these things out, verify them, and call BS on them if they are. Now, as I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm telling you to make sure the person asking for your vote is actually who they say they are and saying what they actually said. That's all I want you to do. I appreciate your time today. Stay strong, stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one. Marcus Aurelius asked a question that I think about every time I sit down to record this show. What is it fundamentally that this thing is for? Not what it claims to be for. What is it actually for? That's the virtuous machine question, and it applies to every piece of technology being built right now. The AI, the algorithms, the platforms, all of it. You'll find everything from today's episode at techforgrownups.com. Join the conversation in the community. The link is there. Stay sharp, stay loud, and I'll see you in the next one.